Say everybody, welcome back to day 21. And today I want to take a little different twist in my video and talk about preparedness, to be prepared. And what led me up to this topic today is, let me tell you what happened to me. And let me frame this up for you. Last week I was visiting one of our nation's largest retailers, and I'm not going to mention any names, but it's the one that has about 30 checkout aisles and only 3 of them are open most of the time. So I was standing in line, locked in the middle of the line, sandwiched between the people, and got caught up in a phone conversation kind of by default. The woman behind me got a phone call, and I tried to distance myself from her conversation the best I could while standing in front of her in line. But I could tell, and the people around her could tell, that what started out as just a normal, lighthearted conversation went kind of quiet. And then as it went on, she got louder and louder. And as she got vocal, it was very easy to tell that her spouse, who was on the other end of the line, informed her that he had just lost his job. And trying to make some room between the two of us, I really couldn't. I could feel her, I guess, her tension, her excitement, her sorrow. Really, just listening to her, you could tell that their world just suddenly turned upside down. So she called one of her friends, of all things, and kind of took the same conversation and added a little bit of color to it in certain places and kind of amped up her excitement even more. And you could just tell that they were in the tall grass financially, and there's no way they could see their way out. The other story that I want to mention is a little different slant. A good friend of ours who high ambition, a high energy type of person, wanted to be a songwriter. He was in the theater, he wanted to be a songwriter, and he took himself to the right city to be able to practice his trade. Never was able to hit the big time until just a couple months ago. He let everybody know that he had the lyrics written to a song that was going to be published, and within a few weeks, finally, his lyrics was going to be published and heard on the airways. And we learned a couple of days ago that he had a bad heart, and we lost him. And when I heard that, the first thing that came to mind was something I heard from a very well-known speaker. And he was talking about all the things that people want to do in life, but there's always a reason for them to set it aside because something is going to interfere, and there's always going to be time later to do things. Which takes me back to the woman standing in line and our friend who we lost because of a sudden death. And what I remember most, my takeaway, was when I heard the words from the speaker, "Don't let your music die or stay inside you. Don't let your music stay inside you." And I can only think of him. Here he was, just that close. And then the woman standing in line, all of a sudden, nowhere to go. Sudden change in her life. And the reason I mention this to everyone today, it's kind of a reminder for me, is if anybody out there has that to-do list that you kind of wrote down in January, it's time to get it out of that book where you put it and dust it off and look at those things that you committed yourself to doing this year. You're not going to finish them all. Get started and do that. Whether it's a relationship, you want to advance yourself in study, you want to do more to be able to build your business, to leave a legacy, you fill in the blank. That's important to you. And while you're doing that, the next time you're standing in line, think of that conversation that I had with that woman had, that I got caught up in. And the next time you hear a song on the radio that you like, think of our friend. And don't let your music get lost inside you. Take care, and we'll talk again tomorrow.